Yeah. Hi, Lutz. How you
Hi,
going?
good and you, Danielle.
Yeah,
Good
It's
to.
been a while.
It has been a while. It has been a while. So we had our meetup tonight.
Yes. Yeah, we heard from Pascal Petit. She was talking about project finance modelling.
Yep.
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 which is
And some
interesting.
techno modelling
Yeah.
sort of terminology that I haven't even heard before.
Yeah, we had a good
and-
discussion at the end though, didn't we?
Yeah, it was a great discussion on technology and I guess some tools out there as well. And we're talking about analytics and analytical tools versus modeling tools and add-ins and no add-ins. And,
Yeah. Well, we kind of
and
have
formats.
we don't really agree on the add-ins.
You're a no.
So tell me
no-go.
what you think about why you think add-ins are so good.
When you go to a mobile phone shop, and Matt, this is your quote. Danielle
Yeah.
actually called me on it because I mentioned it, but it's a wonderful Matt Benath.
I didn't realise it was.
But,
I thought it was. Yeah. Okay.
So no. When you buy a mobile phone,
Yeah.
what's the first thing you do? Is you install all these apps. So I think natively Excel is phenomenal, and the stuff that they've built and like Power Query and all the other functionality is incredible. Plus, you can now with your phone, Excel can read data off an image, right? That was
why do you need to
because
read
people
it off an image?
Well, because people are doing OCR through posting invoices through Excel.
Yeah, I guess
So there's a whole other segment.
I mean, you're all about the technology and the disruption and
and I think that's exactly right.
Yeah.
So I think if you look at the technology and where it's advancing, there are startups that are creating these very powerful add-ins that we use and we play with and they're sort of making things faster, more efficient. So all the things we spoke tonight about as well was that spreadsheets and errors and all the problems. Some of these add-ins are solving those problems.
Yeah, I guess my problem with it is that because I do a lot of training, I really need for people to just use standard Excel as it comes out of the box because I don't want to be. Also, I don't want to be selling somebody else's. I don't want to be making someone else's money.
No. Look,
Yeah.
there's no question. Don't get an ad-in if you don't know the basics.
Yeah.
So I think for me, it's just not. You can't jump into a Ferrari if you've never driven a car before or you've ridden a mud. Like
so
you've got to really know the basics really well. So I still advocate that. In fact, Alex, who was on Matthew's podcast, I actually sent him to do the FMI
he's
exam.
your colleague, isn't he?
Correct.
Yeah, right.
So I actually sent him to do the FMI exam. He's an actuary. He's phenomenal at writing code and Python and VBA and playing with all our technology and our add-ins. But I recognize that understanding the core principles and the basics of Excel and financial modeling.
That's where the FMI exam.
And that's where the FMI
gets you into
absolutely.
Really
I mean,
the basics.
well, you need to build a three-way model from scratch, and I think that's the quintessential skill.
And you need to be able to do it in 4 hours.
In 4 hours with no add-ins, with their computers. So
Hey, I'm going to South Korea next a couple of weeks now. Actually, I had a call with them last night to do for a company. They're going to actually sit the FMI exam at the end of it. So we're going to do
awesome.
5 days of training. And
Great.
then on the
Geez,
Saturday...
you need 5 days of training for that exam.
I know. Well, I was speaking to them last night about we're going to do online courses to get them up to scratch because I don't really know what the level is.
It's just too much to get in 5 days.
Yeah, so it's going to be really intense. We're going to do 5 days, and depending on their level. And I've said, look, there's no guarantee of actually passing the exam.
Yeah, correct.
Because you can't. I mean, you can't sort of guarantee you go on a training course and you're actually going to pass the
Well,
exam.
we know. Well, I mean, I train people as well. I'm off to Sri Lanka next week, and I think I think in the end, both you and I would agree that training is only a small portion of it. You've really got to apply what you learn in the training practically to then do something like an FMI exam. So I think, 70, 20, 10, 70% of our knowledge is based on practical application. So, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, 5 days, obviously, hopefully they'll be doing a lot more practical stuff before that. Because,
it's going to be pretty
to sort of, it's not like the Matrix where you just plug yourself in and suddenly you can learn Kung Fu. I mean, I wish it was that easy, but it's not. So Danielle, you've got exciting news. You made some list that I hear is...
And I think you have as well.
Oh, well, let's not be competitive now.
I can't believe you beat me on it. You were higher in the list.
Well, the point is we've got two financial modelers, both in Australia, right? That made the top 25 list.
So there was so Anders came out with a top 25 content creators in LinkedIn on finance and accounting.
Well done.
Yeah, you too.
And so thanks Anders for the collaboration and the opportunity to sort of talk and connect. I mean, I connected with 5 people on that list that I never even knew about.
There was a few people I hadn't heard of, so they all have really good content. But but if you want to follow and learn more about financial modelling, of course, Danielle and Plum Solutions and connect with both of us. Model citizen, of course.
I try to be a model citizen. Yes, I do try.
You do,
but thanks everyone.
Are you mostly you're consulting and training as well, or you?
We probably do most of our work is consulting, and a small component is
and
training.
And your team, you've got a team now, haven't you?
So we've got 2 actuaries that are with us full time, Alex and Leon.
Great.
Which is great. And
we haven't caught up for a while.
Yeah, sorry, with LinkedIn, we haven't caught up. And so the team's here, but I mean, ultimately, it's about helping more people, and we work with other teams in the consulting role, but as well as part of the consulting role also involves training, because we've got to train people how to use the models that we build for them. So it's actually not about us doing all the work. We've actually got to train them. So we've got to show them, yes, some of the add-ins, but more importantly, actually understand the logic, because some of these models
done something for them, they need to be able to run with it going
forward.
we
build 90% of the models we build are what we call operational models, like operational rolling 3-way models, as opposed to a deal model. And one of the 50 odd topics we'll be talking about is deal modeling versus operational modeling. We'll go into that, but
really different.
Operational modeling is very different. So because you have this constant churn of data coming through the model, the actuals. And I think that's where it becomes
and they have to be able to update.
Well, it's got to be up and flexible. And what happens if you add a new chart of account, or what if you have to change the logic? Most Excel spreadsheets will break. So you've got to be smart at how you do that.
Okay, all right.
But thanks, and that's quite a few minutes on. So hopefully that was valuable. And thanks again to our host, the ACCA, for
hosting us tonight. We had a huge crowd, and the next one's coming up in Melbourne in October. We've got one next week in Sydney. We've also got Brisbane. No, hang on. We've got Brisbane next week, and we've got Sydney the week after.
Yep.
So it's all about the financial modelling meetups at the moment.
It's all about financial modelling. It's Financial Modelling Week.
Yes. It's always Financial Modelling Week.
Of course it is.
Yeah. All right.
We should do a podcast together. You know that. No, I'm joking. Okay.
All right.
Thanks, everyone.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.